All right, so this is Jalafuego cross to fish. This is an F2. If you notice a little circle here, that is a little spot of variegation, which tells me that this particular seedling may be heterozygous for variegation or homozygous, but it's definitely one of the two. Same thing, if I'm going a little quick, right here, you see that little spot, and I've marked the two little black lines on either side to kind of draw attention to it. That plant may be either homozygous or heterozygous for variegation, but we know it's one of the two. Why is that important? I've already made several selections out of this that were really nicely variegated, but let's say that these two are the best for productivity, or this one's the best for productivity and this is the best for, you know, nice uniform true to type jalapeno phenotypes. Maybe my selection is going to come out of these two rather than my ones that are completely homozygous for variegation. And here we have down here, this is an example of one that we know is 100% homozygous for variegation, which means it will breed true and it will 100% have all of its babies variegated. So that's important to know. And this cross again was also done by Mr. Lee Ham. I'm going to show you here Jalafuego X Fish, which means that the Jalafuego jalapeno was one of the parental generations. In this case it was the fruit bearer, and then fish goes next, so we know the fish pepper is the pollen donor in this particular cross, and it is an F2. I've not marked it as such because that's not as important to me, but it's crossed by Lee Ham, and I've written that down. Now what's interesting is that, you know, there might be 10 other people that make this same cross, Jalafuego cross to fish. I mean, Lee Ham does not have the exclusivity or exclusive rights to those things. In fact, I think I've probably made the same cross, but I like to keep track of the lineage and who did what, because as you move forward, different selections will be possible no matter if someone else made the same cross or not. So we're just going to pull this one out, make sure we keep track of who made what. And the reason why I'm bringing that up, I keep seeing a lot of these vendors, they'll put, you know, got the seed from this person, Patrick Merle or Pete Merle, and, you know, he got it from his best friend who made the cross, but there's no mention of the person who actually made the cross. To me, that's all important, you know, information to know, even if someone else could have made the same cross. And so I started digging into it and found out that lots of people have made brown jalapenos, or definitely more than one. Stefan von Gelder is one that made the azabachi chocolate or brown jalapeno. That's probably the oldest reference I've found. Let's pull this sucker out. But for whatever reason, some of these vendors, they don't want to keep, or they don't keep that information for us. And it's important because, like I said, 12 people could make the same cross, same parental generations, but their selections through luck or through the amount that they sow out, they can make completely different selections as each generation goes through. And there we go. We've got these two selections, and these peppers will probably look slightly different from each other and have different attributes. That's why we're growing them all. If they were going to be identical, we'd only grow the one and be done with it. But we're looking for those differences, and we want to grow the best. We want to make good selections, and you can't make good selections if you're only growing one of a thing, because there's not really any selection process going on there. You're not growing and choosing the best of the best. Now this is just some turkey manure that I'm sprinkling up on top to give them some little go juice. Been composted materials in there with it. I'll water that in. But this is November 20th, 2022.